See my ego till it's full, ayy. Y'all hysterical, you don't wanna see the truth, ayy. I'm already cool.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Carole in Italy for day 2 of the European Ultimate Championship finals. We are at pre-quarter with men's division between FUJ and the Mooncatchers. Tom Styles here alongside Hilary Humes, and it's a cool morning here in Italy. Very still though, Hilary.
The air is chill, but it's muggy, and it's set to be a screamer of a day with excellent games on board. But up first this morning we have the top 16 playing off FUJ versus Mooncatchers. Yesterday they both had what seemed to be an interesting day for themselves, both winning 2 games and losing 1. FUJ, hailing from Prague, beat Rampage and Crazy Dogs, but lost in a nail-biter against the Munich side on Universe Point.
Yeah, we were streaming that on the Fancy. If you really want to see how they got on there, it was a brilliant game. And FUJ have definitely got some great ultimate in them, but MUC fought hard and just pipped them at the post. But you know, FUJ were up for a big part of that game.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they perform and whether that will rattle their cage a little bit or whether they feel fit and fighting ready this morning. Mooncatchers yesterday went down to Chevron Action Flash but beat Is No Good and the Big Easy. So they're hoping for a high placement, coming away with bronze last year at EUCF, but with the top 16 looking very fierce, it'll be a tough game today.
And we see the Mooncatchers singing a little song here as we coat ourselves in insect repellent. Do you want some insect repellent there?
I'd love some.
Yeah,
Thank
go.
you, Tom,
Yeah, there might be some left after Yaka stole most of it last night. Well, I say stole, I offered them the bottle. No, I offered one of them the bottle, and the next thing I know, it was being sprayed on the entire team. So it's quite what
I'm surprised you managed to get it back.
Yeah, and there's still some in it. They were very sparing. The Yaka team played Dublin Gravity. I actually don't know the result of that game. I had to leave before the end. See if we can find what happened at the end of that Gravity game yesterday. Gravity and Yaka facing off in the stadium field, which is away from the airport fields here in Carole. This venue over to our right and behind us is an airport hangar where they have a whole bunch of light aeroplanes, and this field is normally the airstrip. So you can see from our high camera the whole field venue complex laid out all the way down the countryside here, fields as far as the eye can see. And normally that is where the light aircraft take off and land, but it's beautiful, it's flat, the grass is good. There's a lot of facilities here, big eating area. It's about 10 minutes from the accommodation, which is a big holiday village. It's a really cool, relaxed venue for a tournament. So Mooncatchers from Belgium and FUJ from the Czech Republic, and FUJ get us underway, disc flying through the sky for another hot day of action. Flicks off the fingers, and Mooncatchers with Ospina. Gets it to Yonkers, back to Ospina. Flicks across the field. Looking up the line now. Cross-field pass, exposing the play on this near side to Spappens. Spappens still available on that wing. He's going to go to Yonkers instead. Ben Yonkers sends a big flick. Spappens turns and reads it well. Grabs across the field, spreading the play. looking to jam this in if they can. Goes back to Aspicia. Floats down the line, and that's nice work from Moon for the opening point of the game. Mooncatchers in the blue, FUJ in the white, and using every single tool in the armory there. A few of the numbers on these shirts don't quite match our roster, so we will identify players as best we can. But FUJ, on the other hand, have got brand new shirts. They're beautiful looking with a big lion on the front, Hillary, and it's they're an exciting team to watch.
Yeah, both sides is going to be exciting to see. It'll be interesting to see Mooncatchers have lost a few of their key players or their star players. The Brooke Lasher brothers and Ref Yonkers, who last year was on fire. So this season might be a sign of bringing up some new players, you know, through the ranks, or it could be the test of the team to see how they bond and fight those challenges on field when they don't have those star players there.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see how they turn out, but first point showing exactly what they're capable of, working it in. A lot of the Mooncatchers players representing Belgium at the under-24 World Championships in Heidelberg earlier this year. They made it to quarter-finals, which was a good achievement for the team. And this pre-quarter matchup is as far as they've got here. Played 6 pools of 4 yesterday. But now FUJ with the disc, first chance to see what they can do on offense. Novak cuts down the line. Said it's going to be a cross-field disc which comes low, but is caught well by Stratosh. And then a great run down the line. Stratosh running again and sending it to Novak. Novak reads it well and chases it down for the goal.
A much more aggressive point from FUJ. That was brilliant. You know, their cuts were really fierce. They were chasing everything down. We saw them have to lay out for a disc just to keep it in the air. And, you know, the shots might not have been 100% accurate, but they seem warmed up this morning. Yeah,
they were very, very clean offense. The assist from 16 shirts of Stratosh. There's accents all over this Czech team's name, and I'm trying my best. I spent a bit of time with one of the key players, Wojciech Palusz. And you see that flow down the line. Novak is going to be a big target. He pulled in 6 points yesterday when FUJ were playing against MUC. Wears the 50 on his back, just like one of his heroes, Bo Kittredge from the USA. Ospitia catching. Finds a gap through the middle of the field. Spreads the plate out, coming back now. Yonkers available, gets it back to Ospitia. Man with the biggest toolbox of throws in Ultimate, a pick has been called. Big disc goes up into the end zone and it's not caught. And that's a turnover, first turnover of the game. Goes the way of FUJ. Just, yeah, number 12 is Merlin Vorlast, who's on our, I think this B team kit for Mooncatchers is not been used very often, and a lot of the players don't have the full set. Paulusz gets it across to Riedlo, and then Nemecek. does manage to keep the disc alive with that reset, but the Mooncatchers defense is hustling around and sends it into the end zone, but it dives into the turf. Not quite enough float on that flick. So giving the disc back to the Mooncatchers. And they'll have another chance to advance. Need to get their deep shots tidied up a little bit. There was plenty of space back there, but no execution this time, Hillary.
The option was there, but yeah, it's challenging when the disc comes out and you just can't reassess and adjust.
Mooncatchers, Auspicia cuts towards the line and gets the disc now. Looking to swing it. Quentin Walsh. Auspicia are going again. Float forward, a big bid comes out from FUJ. Did not get the fingertips to it. Auspicia back with it again. Yonkers cuts up the line and then turns back and sends it deep. Mooncatcher underneath it, there's going to be some pressure from FUJ. What a rising grab that was. Bontemps gets it down, and that is a great goal for Mooncatchers.
A superb read from the Mooncatchers player. It was just really tight offense. They were resetting it nicely, waiting for those opportunities and looking long, you know, with two players hot underneath.
Yeah, Sophie Bontemps getting up well before anyone else had even thought about leaving the ground. The number 9 shirt, and the assist was Ben Yonkers in 35. Well known as a amazing player. Both ends of the disc. He's got throws, he's tall, he's athletic, doesn't mind throwing himself at a disc or two. He'll be a threat for the Mooncatchers. So a little bit of a scruffy point from both teams there. FUJ giving up a chance to score a break, and Mooncatchers taking 2 bites. Both teams will want to clean up their defense a little bit, or clean up their offense a little bit in those situations. We'll see if we can work out what the rest of the bracket holds for these two teams if they get through this game. FUJ finding a gap through the middle. There was barely anything there, but threaded the needle. Cuts up the line. It's Novak going deep now, coming back underneath, but the play is back upfield. The 93 shirt of Lippert gets it across to Pelican. Lippert still available in the backfield. It's not Lippert in the backfield, it's Stavtosh. And he has it now, signalling where the front of the stack should be. Stavtosh. Oh, and just enough of a touch. The low forehand was picked off mid-flight, and straight away Mooncatchers striking deep, sending the big disc. Rises early. Novak judged it better, read it all the way in. He didn't have position. But the Mooncatchers player, I think it's Demesmaker, was underneath the disc too much there. These Mooncatchers jerseys, they've gone for dark blue on light blue. Well, it's dark blue on royal blue. It's not even, possibly the least contrasty shirts I think I've ever seen.
It is the least legible, that's for sure. It is not accessible in any sort of way.
Whereas the FUJ shirts are great for us. We like that. Just a name on the back. If you, some of the players have got the names, some have not. But float up down the line.
Brilliant catch.
Sends it straight away. Going to require something magnificent. It was too much pepper on the disc from Pelican. After he'd caught it, he thought he needed to strike immediately. Perhaps took an option that wasn't quite there. And coming back the other way now, Mooncatchers with a chance to hold on their second time of asking. Svatoš marking. Running up the line here, Gaten van der Broek. Good continuation down the line. Hammer flick to the far corner, bringing it in.
Finding that fat side with acres of space. A brilliant shot over the top. And that's what I'm expecting to see a lot more here from Mooncatchers. A side that will look long quite often, trying to find their deep receivers.
Yeah, that's the sort of hammer that we saw numerous times from the Belgian under 2014. They're very comfortable, and certainly this wind, the conditions are, there's no wind to speak of at all. 57 is unrostered for us.
Unfortunately, he won't get the assist stat that he deserves. Look at that beautiful shot.
And that's 51, who's Hughes Godfroyd. I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but...
But you're going to.
I'm going to, yeah. I don't understand what the decision making was when the club committee got together and said, what colour should we make our numbers? I know, I've got it. We'll make them almost completely useless as numbers.
Well, you work in web development, don't you? A little bit.
I do, yeah. I understand contrast and accessibility.
You understand the AA and AAA accessibility rules.
Yeah. These wouldn't pass single A. Novak goes deep. It's a big shot from FUJ. Yes, that's how they do it. Impressive work. The second goal of the game from the big number 50. He is going to be a target. And FUJ executing.
FUJ answer right back. They see Mooncatchers put up a fierce shot and they say we can do exactly the same. Just as quick, if not even quicker. These efficient points are really important in these games now. Let's conserve your energy in offense and focus on your defense, because that's where you win these games. And it's the second day of the tournament. You will be feeling a little bit from the day before, so you want to make sure that everything is accurate, everything is on point. Just seeing the replay, this disc. Beautiful shot, leading pass.
Yeah, there's two 17 shirts. I think it's Knop, Mathieu Knop on the 17 shirt with the assist, and Novak with the score. Oh, actually, hang on, no, I think that's not Knop. That's Christoph Holacek. Yeah, it's Christoph Holacek who got that assist. 28 is Knop. I can only say because they've got names on the back of the shirt. So FUJ are winning all of the shirt legibility prizes here today. Yonkers on the disc. Brings it downfield to Volast, centres it. Bakeman's getting a little bit of contact on the mark. Gets it to Yonkers, Yonkers sends it deep, chasing it down. Volast has to go to the ground and slides across the turf for the score.
Brilliant shot. Mooncatchers reveling in that play.
Yeah, they got this game at the moment with that one break, but another quick offensive score. Game racing through the points here. See that? Here's the replay. Looking for an option. There's Yonkers. And as soon as he's got the disc, he's looking deep. Volast sees that he's looking deep. The disc was coming down hard, and a brilliant slide. He's covered about 5 meters on his back there, sliding across the dewy turf here in Italy. Back of the end zone, good pull there from Mooncatchers, but the defense, no intensity there. Gets the disc across to Holacek. Novak gets it back to Holacek, who has to go horizontal to keep it alive. Flick forward to Vavra. Into the end zone. Oh, the Canop could not keep it in. Just dribbles out the hands. Another chance for Moon to take a break. This would be a big margin if they can get this one in. And FUJ just not quite connecting at the moment, Hillary.
You know, they were going out in a hurry, trying to create lots of options. That Mooncatchers defense is really tight and shutting down a lot of things. And it's forcing them to go long, which they like, but that disc just slipped out of the hands. I think on a better day, that would have been sticky. It just looks like it hit the palm, you know, the bottom of your palm, and we all know that feeling when you go for a disc and it just hits the wrong part of your hand and you think,
could have been, could have been, just was not. Coming up to take the mark. Mooncatchers jamming it through a jam hole which really wasn't open enough. Body position was all out of whack, off balance, didn't get enough air underneath the disc, and it turfs and gives the disc straight back to FUJ, which is what they need, because that was going to be another break. Manages to stuff it in at the first time of asking.
And an easy score for FUJ, what it seems like. All thanks to their defense that just put surmountable pressure on Mooncatchers, trying to force things that weren't there. They were able to just set up, get that immediate cut out and find the space.
I think we've got the scorer there, Mathieu Krisic. I'm going to try and remember it. Krajicik, Rick. He's wearing 23, and on our roster he's down as 19.
You're doing a great job. It is tricky. Not just figuring out who the people are with their numbers, but pronouncing their names.
I had a 10-minute pronunciation lesson. It didn't go well, I'll be honest, but with the FUJ captain. And who was it that threw the assist? Do we see? No. Paulush sends the big disc downfield. There's a key moment in the game there early. That would have been a big point if Mooncatchers had managed to get that another break, but they don't. On a huge layout.
Massive!
Comes from Ridlow, and he dives out and takes the disc away. FUJ with a chance to break back here, and they do so.
Double happiness!
Ridlow gets the block and then gets the point. Brilliant play from FUJ. They're back in this, and from a minute ago when they looked like they were going to go 5-2 down, suddenly they're back at 4-all.
Yeah, perfectly timed there, that heads-up block. It looked like the first one might have been an option.
Yeah, 4 each in this game. Let's have a look at that throw, looking to swing it across. Look at the dive from Ridlow.
He could just see it coming. Just watch him pacing.
Yeah, I mean, that mark on Yonkers, he was baiting a little bit, wasn't he? He just gave him enough space to look open and was ready to pounce. And then really fast reactions from Paulush as well to spot the opportunity He threw the pull and he also threw the assist. But it's a team effort when they get a block like that, because you know he's only looking at that option because every other option's been taken away. Great work from the FUJ D-line. Mooncatchers with Yonkers again. Sends a big fake. Volas looking for options down the line, sends it up. FUJ players underneath this as well, and it's read better. And was that scored in the end by Mooncatchers?
By their reaction, I think it was.
No, they're all walking away. There was from some frustration. It definitely should have been a court D, shouldn't it? Let's have a look at the replay. Volas with the disc in hand, looks upfield, sends it. Look at the crowd of players underneath this disc, though. So it's a FUJ player that gets the first touch and then the second touch, just taking it away from Yonkers. That's why the second time of asking was required. FUJ now with a second chance to break in 2 points. This would be 2 breaks in a row. Ridlow calls a timeout just to take a little bit of the pressure off FUJ, and that's a smart move. And that huge swing in momentum, you know, Mooncatchers with a chance to stuff in at one end to take a 5-2 lead. All of a sudden it's back at 4-all, and then FUJ have got the disc and looking dominant again.
Yeah, they've come back for the first time, and it's going to be a conservation game now, because whoever wins this match has to face up against the winner of CUSB La Flotta versus Fab.
Which you'd expect to be La Flotta, wouldn't you?
Yeah, my money's on La Flotta. So, and we know that will be, no matter what, that will be a big game. So, you know, this is the time to sort of focus, work everything out, get everything right, warm yourself up for the next game, because the next one is the biggest one and you want to make it there.
Well, and I think even if you don't beat La Flotta, that puts you then in the 5-8 bracket. So you've then got a chance to go for 5th place in the tournament, which I think, you know, for either of these teams, finishing 5th would be 5th place team in Europe. You'd take that as a prize to take home from the tournament. So perhaps, but yeah, everything's on the line here for these two teams right now. And obviously, if they lose it, they then drop into that 9 to 16 bracket, which, you know, that's a different sort of tournament altogether from there on.
FUJ finished 9th last year, so it'd be good for them to, you know, beat that placing. And I'm sure Mooncatchers themselves are aiming for quite a high finishing as well.
Yeah, the Chevron Action Flash versus Red Bulls pre-quarter is going on somewhere. I can't quite see it from our vantage point here on the ground. Bad Skid are playing free speed. Costa Rica Grandes are playing forward on the other fan seat field. If you want to tune into that, you can. Clapham have got Is No Good. Alba Ranla, MUC Real 5, and then Mooncatchers FUJ is the game we're watching right here. 4-all. And a turnover straight back to Mooncatchers. Volas now in the middle of the field. He's got Yonkers for a reset on this near side. Quentin Walsh gets it back to Yonkers. Volas goes up the line. Turns and flicks, and that's not a good disc. It's been picked out of the sky by Hulub. Sends it immediately. Novak sprints. Will the disc come back in? It will, and they take it down. And FUJ capitalizing on Mooncatchers' errors for another break. Oh, no, travel's been called, or contact's been made. It's not going to count as a point. Disc is going to come back for Hillary.
They're playing with our emotions. We thought that was a beautiful shot.
Not sure what the call was there.
They're all retreating back.
Was there contact made as Bakeman's there? Bakeman's and Novak having the conversation. And everyone's just trying to keep the situation calm. John Bakeman's in the 3 shirt for Mooncatchers. Let's have a look at the replay, see if we can spot anything. Oh, so it's as the oh, I see. Okay, so as the disc was turned over and the interception was made, Bateman's foot got trodden on, and he immediately called the injury, and you could see he had the hands behind the head
before the disc was thrown.
He's wearing 23. So you can see exactly what Bateman's trying to explain, and to add insult to injury, he's going to have to. Just working with the FUJ team to resolve one or two of their rostering issues. So disc has come back to FUJ. There's turnover stands, but the disc will come back. And having watched that replay, you can see exactly what the conversation was about and agree. Disc goes back across. Novak rises and takes it high. Contact from Yonkers. Make sure these two players keep calm. Both have play the game with a certain flair and swagger. Occasionally that can lead to antagonism. Holacek sends it deep, floating, it's going to be caught. Oh, huge bid required, couldn't quite get it. And another 10-meter slide across the turf here. Beautiful lion shirts that they're wearing. You can see in the face of the lion it actually spells the word FUJ, F-U-J. They're nice shirts, been put together particularly for this season. These two teams, the FUJ team is made up of FUJ and players from 3SB out of Budweis. They came together, lots of players moving between those two cities. They decided to create one club, but kept the FUJ name. Volast centres the disc and sends it deep straight away. Coming down with it is just too much edge on it. We've seen that from the Mooncatchers a couple of times now, sending up a deep shot with no float. And if it's not pinpoint, as that one was not, it can cause a few problems. Reedlow. Holacek sends it deep straight away. The two players underneath it. Oh, what a grab! Bringing it down at full extension from the 25 shirt of Hulub. Brilliant point for FUJ.
Well, that's how it's done, Tom. They tried first time, but did not fail the second. They learned from that mistake. Both teams, I could see them as FUJ set up. The handler just said, let's chill. You know, he used those hand signals, let's just take a moment. But that's not what they were thinking about when they threw that backhand downfield.
Yeah, František Holub. Running that down. Novak wasn't far behind either. Reedlow spins it out to the side. Holacek sends it deep. But what about that for a grab? And the slide to go with it. The relief. Yeah, proud moment on the highlight reel, on YouTube, on Fan Seat for everybody to see. Great work.
And to have your player behind you as backup, it really pays dividends to this team. It seems like they're working really well together. They're trying to back each other up when there's really tight defense. I mean, the defense in particular that they're putting out on Mooncatchers is forcing them to put these long shots up because there's nothing downfield. There's no options that they can get off. And that's why they're looking for those things. And they're not coming off quite yet because the cut's not ready. So, you know, this is incredible from the FUJ side. They've come up now for the first time in this game. They're in the lead, 5-4. You know, it's set to be a nail-biter if they keep sort of towing each side.
The FUJ defense have looked really strong. There was a messy point from both teams there. 2 turnovers from FUJ, 3 turnovers from Mooncatchers, and a timeout for us all to sort of catch our breath. Half an hour played here in this pre-quarter game in the men's division at the European Ultimate Championship Finals. You're listening to Tom Stiles alongside Hilary Humes. And Hilary was up early this morning, not just to watch this game, but also to watch a bit of Antipodean sporting action, weren't you?
So it's an Australian, it's a big day for Australia. The AFL Grand Final, it normally starts at 2:30 p.m. on a Saturday. It's normally warming up in the season, so it's perfect barbecue weather. But for the last 2 years I've been living in Europe and I've had to get up at goodness knows hours to watch and barrack for my teams.
And the FUJ pull is poor. It's going to land midway across the other side of the next field. Now going to be collected and brought back in by Yonkers. Ben Yonkers. Cuts a very distinctive figure on the field, does Yonkers. Espizia gets it back to Yonkers. Yonkers is the big hammer fake. Gets it back to Espizia. Looks up the line. FUJ coming with the zone defense here. Volast. Espizia. Spinning it around now, the Mooncatchers. It's a high disc. Someone's going to be underneath it. FUJ have got another turnover. Prushek. Cross field. Making good movements here. Schladik. Volas comes to mark. Schladik gets the break around low. Good disc. Prushek. Well, that's Prushek with it now. 9 shirts of Schladik. Paulusz has to go to ground and slides. Keeps it alive. The Czech team just one step ahead of the Belgians at the moment. Looking for a way through this melee of players just in front of the end zone. Oh, finds a space on the far side of the field, and great service. Picked up by Villemek at the far corner for 3rd break of the game for FUJ.
Just an example of what a great defensive point looks like when you have to switch to offense. They were really fast to pick that up. They switched so quickly. You know, they're cutting, the Mooncatchers put on a defense and it slowed them down a little bit, but they managed to find pace and managed to find those spots, swinging it back and forth. They looked really confident, just waiting for these options to come up, and you just see the player in the back end field.
Yes, Paulusz with the assist, his 2nd assist of the game. In the 52 shirt. And then the 99 of Maciej Villemek with the score. Paulusz having a great game so far. Been pulling for this D-line. And when they've got the disc in hand, they're looking to him to be the provider. Doing the job pretty well for FUJ at the moment. That's 3 breaks in a row. Massive momentum shift in this game. Mooncatchers had the disc in hand, putting it in the end zone to take a 5-2 lead, and they've not looked like scoring since. It's now 6-4. Espizia again. Looks up the line. Gets it back from Walsh. Espizia. Very flat, the handlers here for Mooncatchers. Walsh again. Espizia's there if he needs. Fella now. Walsh. Trying to find a quick run through there. Walsh gets the return pass. Low release disc. Collected nicely off the turf from Domezmaka. into the end zone, and that's nice from Mooncatchers, much better. Moving the disc sharply through the cup and eventually ping it into the end zone for the point.
Yeah, really nicely played there, just waiting for those options, not sort of trying to punt it too much. It was like the play was just hiding in the back end, waiting for that opportunity.
And the way the FUJ defense had set up there, very putting on that zone defense. Mooncatchers happy to move it between the handlers, and eventually that penetrating disc through the cup. They quickly transitioned to a one-on-one, but the defense couldn't react fast enough. Beno Spapens with the score. I think, was it Demesmaker with the assist, 16 shirt. Who's 57? Austin. Is he on here?
FUJ with the disc, picking up, dishing it downfield. A look to swing down the line.
Yeah, Novak has it now. Centers with some big dump pass to Lippert. Bringing it across. Holacek. Back to Stvaltosh. Holacek just grabs the disc ahead of the Mooncatchers defender. Back in the centre of the field now, Stvaltosh. Oh, block right at the front of the end zone. Mooncatchers denying the point.
It's a big moment for Mooncatchers to level the score.
Swinging the disc across. Deep shot coming downfield on a dime. Mooncatchers rolling it into the end zone, just bringing it to the front line. Wasn't quite in, but a massive gain of yards there. Bihi calls the timeout. Austin Bartenstein with the amazing disc all the way down the field, and the grab right at the front of the end zone from Killian Walsh. And a block, really. Mooncatchers doing everything in that point.
Yeah, really putting everything out there, and you know, that's what they have to do. They have to make it through to the next game. You know, you don't want to get FUJ scoring to 7 and then being that little bit closer to half-time. You want to keep these distinctions from each other as close as possible. The gap in the score, you want it to be very minimal, if at all.
That disc into the end zone, for a second looked like FUJ was going to score it. Now it's a very different situation. Those teams so closely matched in this game, Hillary.
Yeah, it's great to see a game like this where teams, you know, are just so evenly matching up and putting out different things. It's nice to see the FUJ zone out there slowing down Mooncatchers a little bit, but also similarly, it's good to see Mooncatchers find those gaps and work out how to break that zone. Interesting to call a timeout so close to the end zone. I know like lots of teams like to do this and set up, but I always have this fear that like this is where we're going to turn it over. I'd just rather get it in.
Well, Benji Reese refers to these as a turnout. I think it benefits the defense a lot more than the offense. You know, offense had the flow, they were moving down there quickly, and you can see the point of view of the players calling this, because they've got a really good opportunity and they want to make sure they capitalize. But I think the statistics of how these things end up, it's perhaps not strategically the best decision that players make. Pierre Behin with the disc for Mooncatchers. Knocking on the door. Gets it to Walsh. Killian Walsh. Disc across the field. Back to Walsh now. And a knock away. It's back in the hands of FUJ. Great defensive block from them.
Brilliant block, and as we said, the turnout did come to fruition.
Pick called. It's going to come back. First sign of the sunshine poking through the haze here. The airport fields in Carole. And another timeout called, this time by FUJ. Chance to catch our breath. So both these teams looking to take their place in the quarter-final, a chance to play against the winner of Fab versus La Fotta, which we imagine is going to be La Fotta. I think that would be the new story of the tournament if Fab beat La Fotta.
It would be the upset, not just of the tournament, but of the entire season, wouldn't it?
People would be sending videos and photographs of that one for a long time. One of the favourites here, in fact, Ravi Vasudevan on the Eurozone podcast, which is a brilliant listen if you've not had a listen, was actually for the first time ever calling La Fotta as the favourites for the tournament. He fancied they could take down Clapham. Clapham are, you know, champions and sort of perennial winners of this tournament, year after year. But he thought, Ravi thought this was La Fotta's year. They're looking stronger than ever. They've got a new coach of the German national team, which might shake things up a little bit, reduce some of the instability sometimes that the fiery way that La Fotta can play sometimes generates. We will wait and see. Do stay tuned. All the finals here on FanSeat. And the mixed final is also going to be on the YouTube channel as well. But get yourself that FanSeat subscription because they bring amazing European ultimate action all the way through the year. And here at the European Ultimate Championship Finals, the best clubs in Europe fighting out for a chance to call themselves the champions of Europe for this year. The women's division turning out to be a real festival of unpredictable results as well. Iceni playing well, not too fancied in this tournament, but you can never count them out at European level. Shout losing a game to Heidelberg, and one of the favourites, and Yaka and Gravity also looking very good as well. Back here in the men's division though, pre-quarter action between FUJ and Mooncatchers, and FUJ sending a big dump pass back down the field. Sprinting up the line, Svatosh has been looking really good. Svatosh again. Low disc, it was a flick to Novak that couldn't quite be collected off the turf. Big number 50 slides. Bartenstein sends it deep, and it's come down in Mooncatchers' hands for the point. High disc, and we are back level at 6 apiece. This game is just so full of surprises.
It couldn't get any better than this. 2 turns within that point, and Mooncatchers finally close the deal. Leveling with FUJ.
The team fired up after that. Well, these teams couldn't be more closely matched. It was Austin Bartenstein with the put. Again, the number 57, wearing the truck stop shorts. Perhaps some, you know, elite level American connection there. But what a take that is over Novak. Celebrating the team, I think is it 4 shirt? It's not on our roster.
So we're 46 minutes into this game and we haven't even reached half-time. It's a true test of these two teams really playing off against each other and being so equally matched. I wonder if this game will go to a universe the way that it's going now.
Sofiane Bontemps with the grab over Novak there in the 9 shirt. Holecek. Great advancing disc to the fast cut of Pelican. He sends it deep. Riedlo was cutting there, but being asked too much. You can see celebrating already. Mooncatchers know they're in the heads of the Czech side here. Some of their ultimate has not been pretty, but my goodness, they're fighting hard for everything. And that clinical offense that we saw from FUJ early in the game just seems to have diminished a little bit, Hilary.
Yeah, you can feel that hunger in the Mooncatchers side, and as you say, they're sort of getting in the heads of the FUJ players, you know, cheering on the sideline as they turn it over.
Volast. High grab, looking deep, sends it across the field. Another high grab required. Hokez. Walsh. Bartenstein. Walsh again gets it across the field. And a call on the field. Pick call. Brings it back. Volast. And Riedlo just stopping and having a little conversation about the travel call. Is it a travel call? Oh, pick call. Looking for the reset. Fella eventually receives it. Volast. Spins it forward. High grab. Mooncatchers advancing into the end zone, but the disc is not quite there, and FUJ this time celebrate a mistake from the opposition.
Give it right back to them, don't they? You know, it was a really tense moment there, but it was excellent defense from FUJ, shutting down the first, second, third, even the fourth options, and Mooncatchers going to like high stall counts trying to find those receivers.
Walking it back up to the line now. We're back in. FUJ in the white shirts. Some quick movement. Holecek has it. Prusak. Swings to the far side. Player that's been poached here, Quantum Walsh, just poaching off into the lane. Zdravtosh with a big swinging blade forearm right across the field, exposing the space. Maciej Stedka brings it down. Exhausted, kneels on the ground to celebrate.
That was a massive point, Tom. I mean, FUJ were fighting every single moment, and they were just playing with Mooncatchers, dumping it on the far side of the field, only to look for that fat side of the end zone, find that space, find that player hiding amongst the reeds. You know, they didn't know what hit them, and before they could even do anything, it was too late.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Tom Styles alongside Hilary Humes. You can look, I've got my social media tag up in here. At Tom Styles if you want to hit me on Twitter. Twitter's been quiet. I think Europe's fallen out of love with Twitter. The Americans are still hardwired to Twitter, it seems, but in Europe are using the other social media platforms. I'm also at DJ Tom Styles on Instagram. It's a mixture of ultimate frisbee and DJ highlights.
It's a good mix.
It's a good mix.
They work together.
Yeah. You know, come for the frisbee, stay for the DJ.
It's important you've got multiple skills. You're not just
Yeah, it's multiple dimensions. Yeah, that's
multiple
right.
dimensions.
Yeah,
Daytime, nighttime.
that's right. Oh, and is there, what's the conversation going on here?
Oh.
Too many players on the field? Are we having a timed half? 51 minutes? I think we might, the scorers have come onto the field. I think this might be a timed half, so normally we'd have half at 8, but 50 minutes. Sugar. Jamie, our amazing volunteer looking after us this weekend here, has just delivered the coffee. So much appreciated. Thank you very much, Jamie. I'm not sure what the game that FUJ is playing is called. So this is a timed half. We didn't get to 8 within the game time, so the scorers have, you know, got to 50 minutes, so that's half time. So starting the game was Mooncatchers on offense. So FUJ are now going to come out on offense in the second half with a chance to take that 8-6 lead. It's kind of a mini break. 2 breaks for the price of 1. See the extent of the airport fields here in Carole. About an hour down the coast from Venice. Somewhat overcast skies on the flat plains around the coast here. Extremely level area. The geography here is quite strange, almost Dutch in its flatness, but it makes for good frisbee fields. The players and ourselves are all staying in a holiday village. It's just on the edge of the town of Carole, so we all have our own little holiday villas, would you call them, Hilary?
Yeah, like little, well, holiday homes, I suppose, is the best term.
It's a nice atmosphere in the evening. All the players just relaxing. There's no floodlights here, so when we were in Wrocław last year, they were able to play games right late into the evening. We had games that were finishing at 9:30 when it was freezing cold. I remember we were wearing our ski jackets on the sideline last year. Here the games are all done and dusted by 6:20 when the dusk is starting to gather. That means we can all go back, have food, and have a nice relaxed evening. But when the first game of the day is a crunch pre-quarter, then you've got to be up early, get yourselves warmed up, get yourselves fed, get the energy levels up, get your head in the game. And that's exactly what these two teams have done, providing a real spectacle for us so far. Mooncatchers and FUJ. Mooncatchers from Belgium, FUJ from the Czech Republic.
This is going to be a huge point to start out with. Mooncatchers, if they let FUJ score, will be down 2 points. And that'll really give the FUJ side a huge momentum to close the gap and finish that game.
Riedlo. Beautiful disc forward, right into the path, and that's not such a beautiful disc. Riedlo continues. Riedler going every other at the moment. This time it's back to Lippert. Lippert goes down the line. A block. Is it going to be? No, the sideline gets the leg in. And that is an object lesson in why you should catch your Ds. Did all the hard work on defense, but just macked it into the sky. Great footwork from Favre to keep the disc alive and score that point for FUJ.
That's such a hard lesson to learn, isn't it, Tom? Like, you get the block and you think you're running at pace. It's hard to catch a D when in those moments. You just want to dink it out far enough out into field so it's out of bounds. But incredible work from the FUJ player, Vavra, for chasing that down and even towing the line, not just on the sideline, but in the deep pocket.
Great defense, just making up the ground. Just gets a fingertip to it. And then keeps the toe in.
Incredible balance. You know, just to be able to hold both hands up in the air with one foot down.
It's Lippert with the assist. Well, I'm sure I should give the assist to the Mooncatchers player there, but I don't think our stats sheet would like that.
Doesn't allow for that, Tom.
Doesn't allow for that,
But
no.
I'll speak to the developer.
Yeah, okay. The developer heard the note. It's not going to make any changes. Yes, we're using our commentary source software here to help us with the rosters and tracking the play of the game and all of our stats. Mooncatchers, Moby Aspizia with the disc on the far sideline. And again, the FUJ poachy look. I think it is a one-on-one single coverage. Not a zone, but they are allowing the handlers to move the disc across. Yonkers floats up, a big scuba, hung in the air a little bit too much. I think it's Killian Walsh.
They're not making the right decisions in this moment. They really need to set themselves up with clear cuts, finding those high percentage shots.
And Holub takes a big shot of his own right across the end zone. Nemecek is the receiver. And well, just as we were talking about high percentage passes, Holub puts up a spicy hammer for the score for FUJ. 3-point margin for the first time in this game.
Yeah, phenomenal hammer. I mean, as you say, like, I'm talking about Mooncatchers' side. They need to be sensible. And then FUJ's just hearing what I'm saying and doing the complete opposite. You know, punting it into the air, making it look so easy.
They seem to have got all the confidence. Again, kicking that off, Paulusz. Wojciech Paulusz sets it up. And then the assist from Holub. And the target in the end zone, Nemecek. Available. Was it the scuba from the way that turnover came about? You see the disc silhouetted against the bright skies here in Italy. It spirals down into the end zone. Yonkers walking towards the camera, having a chat with Fella. And news from around the tournament, Bad Skid win against Free Speed. It's a 15-8 result for them. Paulusz again with the big put downfield. Aspizia. Mooncatchers needing to recover some composure. They could bring it to Volast. Down the line, Spappens. Quantum Walsh. Spreading the play to Aspizia again. Sends it downfield as a hard shot. Spappens underneath it. Can he reel it in? Oh, yes, he can! What a take!
Fantastic option. Finds his player in the end zone. Sends him almost into the cornfields on the other side. Or whatever fields they are. Some sort of...
Isn't it a vineyard? Yeah, he was nearly in there celebrating with the wine, I reckon.
Perhaps celebrating a little early. So 9-7.
Spitzer on that far sideline collects, has one look up, big pivot out, and then sends it, but the work still had to be done. Spappens changing direction, reading it, and catching on the top side of the disc, a really tricky skill, going away from him. He had that split second where it was near enough to reach out and grab. A really impressive bit of receiving in the end zone there. They're fighting hard to stay in this game, Mooncatchers. FUJ going on that 3-point run of breaks from 3-4 down to 6-4 up. And then point either side of half, which was a timed half at 50 minutes. And a break in the second half as well. Gives them the 2-break advantage and a 9-7 lead. Mooncatchers will have been inspired by Spappen's big grab in the end zone, come firing down here, but they just don't seem to have quite the same hunger. Van den Broek on the block, but it's Novak for FUJ. Gets it across to the 16 shirt of Stavtosh. Holacek into the corner, not quite there. Holacek continues the cut and scores it for FUJ. Nice, easy, hard running from Holacek, but easy movement from FUJ for a 10-7 lead.
Yeah, jamming it in the jam hole, finding just whatever space they can, not looking to spread it as much as they want to, or they have done in the past, but just finding those options and staying right close up to that sideline. Making it work, though.
Holacek with the first point to go with his 2 assists from this game already, making a big contribution to the success of this Czech side from Prague and Budweis, bringing the 2 teams of FUJ and 3SB together and playing under the FUJ name for this European Championship season. And powerhouse team that they've brought here is competing well. I think Bakemans needs to work on the fancy handshake a little bit there.
Yeah, they might have some time after this game.
Yeah, he's not going to get into the Fresh Prince audition with that, is he?
So a 3-point deficit for Mooncatchers. This is a tough thing to climb back for, but yesterday I saw plenty of games come back from the brink, and you know, Ultimate is one of those sports where it ain't over until it's over.
It's over, yes. Espizia collects for Mooncatchers, slides it through to Yonkers. Trying to have another look at this FUJ defense. It is a one-on-one, but so poachy for those first few points. Sliding across the line, but catching it just inside is Austin Bartenstein, but it's not a throw that he'll be happy to look back on. Throwing away, and FUJ with a chance to take another break and take a 4-point margin. The mountain that Mooncatchers have got to climb is just getting steeper here. Paulo steps up to the line, immediately jacks it deep. The target again is Nemecek, who continues, but there needed to be the opposite edge on that disc, floating away from the receiver the whole time. And Mooncatchers with another opportunity.
I can just hear the sideline laughing about that shot. Not quite the best option to put out there after a brilliant read on that blady disc.
I dare say Nemecek is somebody that's more comfortable on the other end of the disc. Big catch, small dump pass. Trying to get it free. Again, the FUJ defense really stifling Mooncatchers' progress until they manage to break through the wall. Walsh has got it now, sends a big disc raking across the sky. Spappen's the target again, goes with a one-handed grab and immediately regrets it. Everybody knows what went wrong there.
You can just feel that pain the minute his hands went on his face. He knew, and I think we were all feeling it.
That would have been his 3rd point of the game. He was in the right position. The throw was good. Is it coming back into him? Just goes with the one hand. Oh, it's a tricky one. Rolling off the fingers. He knows what he's done wrong. Would have been easy to get both hands either side of the disc and much more likely to make the catch. Read low. Bringing it across the field, Marek now for FUJ. Little pop up to Villamek. Back to Paulusz. Riedlo again. Paulusz and Riedlo exchanging disc, working well as the handler pair there. And then eventually finding it out here. Setting off quick. Paulusz not able to get free, but Riedlo is. And then continues the flow. Paulusz looking deep, just signaling, like, where I want somebody there, I want somebody over there. But just throws straight into traffic. Mooncatchers come up with it. It was never really an option from our point of view. There was 2 Mooncatchers players there. Paulusz just wanted to get it into the end zone, but execution not right on this occasion. And Mooncatchers coming back down. Oczynski in the middle of the field, and now on the far side with Walsh. Oczynski cutting up the line and then back for the, then coming to up the line again. Oh, there's all sorts of model. Eventually does come up with the disc. Oczynski sends it deep, chasing it down. It's Austin Bartenstein, but Mooncatchers' frustration starting to show physically on the whole team as they are not quite connecting the way they should, even on the sideline.
You can just feel they're so tense on the field, trying to push as many things. You can see they're signaling, go long, but the options aren't there, and I think they're just trying to push a little bit too much when there's nobody cutting for those spaces.
It's hard when you know that the margins in this game are going to be so tight, not to throw the discs, which you know are 70% there. At the moment, it's just not working out for Mooncatchers. FUJ need to steady the ship as well. Riedlo available, big hammer from Paulusz, exposing space and finding Hulub. Pit called. Wojciech Paulusz again.
Both sides feel very uncomfortable at the moment. They're both like eager to just get this point over and done with and score.
Nemecek, much more steady throw. Villamek this time. Paulusz cutting her down the line, just trying to find any way through, but good defensive work. And Yonkers rises and denies any throw. It was a high stall count, not the best option. And Yonkers showing what a presence he is in the air. Bartenstein gets it to Spizia, flicks to Spappens, who this time still uses one hand but does make sure of it. Bringing it, Oczynski, to the front of the end zone. Mooncatchers punching it in, and there's the point to Yonkers. Eventually it goes the way of the team in blue. Well, that could have gone any which way in several different times, Hillary.
And could have gone so much longer as well. That point, like, both sides were sort of failing themselves, really. They were both just trying their hardest to finish that point, and you could just feel it, both teams. Like, in that moment, you just think, would one of them call a timeout? Perhaps they've used them all. I'm not sure if they have any more in this.
I don't think so. No, I don't think there's been any timeouts in the second half yet.
No.
Spappens going with the one-handed grab, which failed him earlier in the game. And this time it works out better. Oczynski looking at Yonkers, who's totally unmarked. FUJ defense switching off. Paulusz looking to block that deep shot. And eventually working their way in. Sideline a little bit in the way. We do try and talk to the players about keeping out of the way of the cameras, but they're always keen to watch. Yonkers, you see how passionate he has been, getting that block at one end and then getting the score at the other end. Double happiness for Ben Yonkers. His brother Ref out injured at the moment. Holacek gets it to Prusak. Holacek again, big shot downfield, Novak underneath it, reaches up and takes it down for FUJ before getting a little trip and an apology from his team, from his opposition.
That's how it's done, FUJ. Let's not waste time in offense. You know, after such a long point, that's a brilliant way to finish it and clean it up and get straight back into defense. You don't want to spend so much time in your offensive play. You want to conserve your energy for defense. You know, your next game, no matter whoever it is, it's going to be a big game. But, you know, the key thing is here for them, they need to hold their lead, 3 points up. It's important to stay strong now. We're nearing the end of time cap, and who knows if we'll get to points cap.
Yeah, the O-line have not been turned over this half. I'm looking at the FUJ O-line. Let me just check their stats. So the FUJ O-line have only been turned over 5 times, whereas the Mooncatchers O-line have been turned over 10 times. Actually, the Mooncatchers D-line have been more efficient. No. There's so many stats. We can generate so many stats from this stuff. Sometimes it's hard to interpret them all. Conversions. Mooncatchers have had 2 from 4 on defense, and FUJ have had 4 from 6 opportunities. Mooncatchers have the disc now. Demesmaker. Yonkers sends it deep. The target in the end zone, flicks it up on Temps with his second point of the game with the air spike.
Brilliant way to reply to FUJ.
Ben Yonkers, the 35 shirt there. Ref is out injured. He's still on our roster though, unfortunately. Yeah, better from Mooncatchers, better from both offensive teams actually. The last point where Mooncatchers did score was that big long point, 3 turnovers apiece. That was much better. Yonkers sends it. And when these offenses do click, impressive flow that they're able to get going. It is a vineyard over the other side of that field. You can just see from our high camera, you can see the rows and rows of grapes. That's a lot of grapes. A lot of wine. Spiraling pull, drifts towards the sideline. I think just stayed in before it hit the turf. No, must have landed out. It's been called as a brick. You can see the vineyard rows laid out across the Italian landscape here. Beautiful part of the world, very flat, just north of the Venetian lagoon. Novak for FUJ. The best teams in European Ultimate coming together for this weekend of action and this pre-quarter matchup. Crucial game between FUJ and Mooncatchers on that far sideline. As a spiraling disc just makes it into the hands of the 16 shirt of Svartosh. Gets it back to Prusak. Oh, so not Prusak. I think that's Knop. Svartosh again. And into the end zone.
That's looking better from FUJ, waiting patiently, resetting, I like how they're swinging and waiting for those cuts to come and to open up. You know, I think a few points ago they were just rushing it a bit too much, trying to punt it long, and the disc, one, wasn't coming out far enough and was coming out at the wrong shape and was easily intercepted. But now they've just fine-tuned that, recognized it, a safe disc into the hands, gives them the 12th point.
And I think it was Stetka with the goal. See our replay in a moment. The FUJ shirts have got a lot of compliments. You see the letters FUJ on the front of the lion's face there, if you look for it. It's very well put together.
Yeah, it's really beautifully designed, that sort of symbolism and like bringing it into that line.
Lippert swings across to Stavtosh. Yeah, it was Stavtosh, and then the goal was Maciej Stetka. Stavtosh. Yonkers for Mooncatchers. Espitia. Back to Yonkers. Such familiar faces. Spiraling hammer to Spappens, but Spappens got fished in. Marek got fished in. And then the disc went over both heads. Yonkers has clearly been to the gym this morning.
Neither one could read that huge shot.
Fierce. Marek again. Looking up the line. It's a floaty disc. There's going to be some pressure underneath this. Mooncatchers denying any opportunity for a catch. And it's a turnover. Paulush, no complaints, just slaps hands. Some contact made between the players there, but incidental. Both Mooncatchers players were way above the head. No complaints from Paulush. You understood the turnover. Making good progress here. Mooncatchers looking to get one back as it spirals across the sky. Spappens uses both hands this time and makes no mistake. That's the third point of the game for the number 8 shirt, Benoit Spappens. For Mooncatchers, that's a break. That's their offensive point scored, isn't it? There's one turn aside.
Incredible defense from Mooncatchers, though. 2 players were underneath waiting for that disc as it came out of the sideline. Spappens, you know, he's hungry for that disc. He's always that receiver in the end zone, and this time, as you say, he's learnt from his mistakes in the past and not only catches with 2 hands but 2 feet firmly on the ground. Not going to be unbalanced whatsoever.
Yes, he goes with the crab catch rather than the crocodile.
The
crocodile catch. You know, I would be. I think I probably would have gone. You know, what would the coach say? Would the coach say, if this disc's coming in at you at your chest height, should you be using the crocodile or the crab? You can tell I've been doing a lot of junior coaching recently. Or the snake. One hand. Novak floating forward. Nice work here between Pelikan and Novak. Pelikan sends it into the end zone. High grab from Stetka. His 3rd point of the game.
Yeah, brilliant catch there. Just a really quick point. I like the movement. They're just looking for a few passes to progress through the field and then trying to gain lots of yards with a big shot deep. If I was Mooncatchers, I'd be looking to stop those unders now. That seems to be the nature of FUJ's play at the moment. Couple of shots and then looking for those deep players.
It was nice use of Novak there. Stetka with the big grab. Pelikan with the assist. Novak's such a deep threat that they know all the teams can't let him go deep. They can't let him have access to the end zone. So they'll mark him under, and in that case, he's just coming under and then doing that quick handler movement with Pelikan. and allowing the deep shot to come after that. So he's the threat. So deadly yesterday. In fact, Mooncatchers have limited the damage he's done. Only 3 points on the board for Novak. He scored 6 yesterday against MUC. Another deep shot. Spappens goes up again, and this time comes down with it. And the FUJ player looking at his own hand going, I'm sure there was a disc in there a minute ago, but nothing that Nemecek could do. Spappens with his 4th point of the game.
Yeah, Spappens certainly happy about that conversion, getting that disc. This time it feels like he's taking everything with 2 hands really solidly, not letting anything get him through, even if another player might have the disc in hand.
I have to have a look at that takedown again. It was, again, another very, very quick offensive point. Aspizia launches the backhand downfield. Spappens reading it. Nemecek gets up, and he caught it in his left hand, where both players were, I think he was expecting maybe to catch it in his right. The discs just disappearing into the bright Italian sky from our low camera point of view. And straight away, neither team wanting to mess around, particularly not Mooncatchers, but they've pulled out of bounds again. If they were hoping to utilize a big run down and put some defensive pressure onto FUJ, that is not the way to do it. The Belgian team making a mistake with the pull, and it's walked to the brick mark now steadily. FUJ within 2 have taken the place in the quarter-final. Lippert, big bid from Mooncatchers, but it arrives safely in the hands of Stedka. Moves it down now to Prusak. Prusak, middle of the field. Holecek. Coming out of the deep space. Stedka. High rise from Novak for another point for FUJ. They're within 1 of taking that quarter-final spot. Mooncatchers have got to do something to be able to stop them on defense. And first they've got to stop FUJ's defense from getting this point. Spappens just came and sat down next to us on the commentary bench here, looking a little bit weary, mentally and physically. Has to be said, this game, early start for both these teams, Hillary.
Yeah, it's a tough moment that they're in right now. 14-11 to FUJ. You know, it would be a momentous effort to bring this back level again, and you know, this next point now is so crucial for Mooncatchers, no doubt. I'm sure they're putting their strongest O-line out there. FUJ, conversely, will probably be putting their best defensive line out there, wanting to stop anything and close this game out.
Still staying with their D-line there. There's no one crossing over, which is shows a team with a lot of confidence that they're not. No, Novak's not crossed over onto the D-line. Oshinsky manages to get it across down to Yonkers. Spappens on the far side, takes 2 hands and high grab. Bartenstein to the wing. Oshinsky again. Bartenstein. Lovely floaty flick into space. Mooncatchers looking smooth. Yonkers sends the big hammer. Spappens is dominant in the end zone in this game, bringing down his 5th point of the game. And Mooncatchers are within 2, but they have to stop FUJ from scoring to prevent them taking the game.
Yeah, that Yonkers-Spappens connection is certainly strong on this field, both playing a critical point in this game and being really strong on the field. Spappens probably their lead scorer.
By a mile. Yeah, I don't think anyone's got anywhere near him, has
yeah, and no doubt, I'm sure that was the same yesterday. But you know, it'll be a marathon effort if they could break FUJ and get the disc back. Score, they'd have to break again, score one more. You know, it's something that only heroes could do, but
it's proper hero stuff, isn't it? It's a big ask from Mooncatchers. I'm just enjoying watching Spappens play this game. He not a player that looks like he's exerting a lot of effort, but his positioning and his ability to read the disc so many times. He's been given, Nemechek has been given the job of seeing if he can contain him, but not been effective at that.
That's a really interesting thing you're saying, like not exerting a lot of energy or movement on field, but being able to find the right space, and that's actually really important when you're a receiver. If you don't need to waste so much energy trying to sprint and find the space, if you can just be, you know, in space all the time, you're way more effective, not just for yourself and your players, but and for your team, but you're saving your own energy for when it really counts.
Yes. Conservation of energy in a weekend-long tournament where you're playing 3 games a day. Such a big part of the game.
Yeah, it's hard to know how much effort you should put into every single game when you've got to last not just all day, but all weekend.
The rule here in Europe is that you can't, at a European Championship event, you can't play 2 games back-to-back. You have to have a break between games. It's very different in the USA. They do like to run their games together, to warm up once, play the 3 games straight, and then be done for the day. Whereas not the tend to be the way. Well, they can't do that according to the rules here in Europe. So FUJ with a chance to take the game, and at quarter-final place against, we expect Lafota on this sideline. Great cut up the line, and a nice disc finds him. Novak the target in the end zone for the game. Misses the disc, but a backup and an almost greatest layout. Flick off the fingers from Maciej Stedka, but could not quite complete it. Mooncatchers have it back, and a chance to get a block, a chance to get a break. Crucial moments in this game. Almost the win for FUJ. Almost a greatest.
Almost, but not enough.
A violation called on the field. Walsh with the disc for Mooncatchers. The Belgian side swinging it out to the far sideline. Up the line, it's a block. Big layout block from Prushek. FUJ have it back. A place in the top 8. The European Championship, European Ultimate Championship finals. The team from the Czech Republic. Looks down the line, wants to be sure of it. Lippert does not send it this time. There again, sends it in, and this time it's collected. Holacek with the goal for the game for FUJ.
And that's that. FUJ have done it. They've made it into the quarters. They fought hard all game, starting down in the beginning of the match and fighting hard to bring it back. Completely dominating the second half as well. They had full control for the most part. They really just continued to play their own game, and we thought for a second the Mooncatchers might have been in their heads and breaking them down, but they rallied together and just brought it back.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say exactly the same thing. It felt like FUJ have had the second half, and actually the teams have traded out since 9-6. The teams have just traded to a close, but it's been a really exciting game to watch. We hope if you've enjoyed it. It seems some spectacular highlights, particularly from the FUJ players, and a brilliant performance in the second half from Benoit Spappens for Mooncatchers. His end zone play, apart from that one-handed drop, has been pretty exemplary. And there's the goal for the game. One-handed grab from Krzysztof Holacek. That's his 2 goals and 3 assists for him. And FUJ take their place to play against La Fotta from Bologna in the quarter-final. More action from the European Ultimate Championship coming up all this weekend on Fancy on YouTube as well. And from myself, Tom Stiles, alongside Hilary Humes and our entire Ulti TV crew, thanks for joining us this morning. Back with more from Italy soon.
Ulti.tv